Usher and Ho, riddle me that. The rest of y'all know where I'm lurking at. Can I need you to remember one thing?
Who do you come and see? Who's taking the belt?
Hatton's feeling victory, this grass.
And everything Ricky Hatton does, no matter what he does, they're cheering.
Let's have it.
Brilliant, yes. Pound for pound, one of boxing's greatest world champions. Ricky Hatton joined us. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Yeah, great to be on the back page, as I'm normally on the front page.
It's not too late. you look at that. Do you miss that? Do you miss the confrontation, the punching blokes, the being punched, the theatre?
Yeah, every day. A few pounds lighter there, but yeah, I miss it every day. That win against Costi was probably my greatest win. You know, one of the greatest welterweights of all time. You know, number 2 pound for pound. But yeah, I miss it every day. But you know, we can't turn the clock back. I tried to turn the clock back. I made a comeback a couple of years ago when I wish I hadn't bothered. But but finally, you know, got beat in the 11th round, the 9th round, sorry, with a body shot, and it wasn't such a bad thing because at least, you know, a bit of a butt kicking, you know, tells you, listen, I haven't got it no more, and I can go on and try and be the best promoter and trainer now, which is what I am.
Which is good for you, I mean, because you obviously embraced the theatre of your sport as well, didn't you?
Yeah, oh yeah, it was certainly never dull, you know, I'm not saying I'm the greatest British fighter there's ever been, but I don't think anyone had a fan base. When I fought Mayweather, like 30,000 went over, Pacquiao, 20,000 went over. Me comeback after the defeat by Mayweather, 58,000 at the City of Manchester Stadium. You can't take them memories, you know, away from me. Yeah.
Ricky, I remember I heard some podcasts and some interviews since from ESPN boxing analysts, and they still were saying, I mean, this was something I heard this year, they were still saying that your Mayweather fight was the best atmosphere for any match they've ever seen in their lives, because not just the styles and the two men that you were, but also the clash of the boxing cultures of the English singing and chanting. They'd never seen anything like it.
No, Oscar De La Hoya, who was Mr. Las Vegas, I guess, yes, in boxing terms, he said it's never been seen before and it will never be seen again. 30,000. The hotel, excuse me, they ran out of beer, you know. Yeah. You'd come out of the lift and you'd just see people from Manchester, Liverpool, London just drunk on the floor, singing constantly. It was unbelievable. And what we did a programme, I don't know if you remember, 24/7.
Yep.
Where they follow you around for a month leading up to the camp, and it won an award in America because it was just so different. You know, Floyd was, I've got, 250,000 on my wrist. What have you got? And I was going, yeah, but you're a dick. And then he was going 500 round my waist. So I was going, yeah, but you're a dick.
You're the only person
and it just, it was just like, one end of the scale to the other.
You're the only person who's ever called him on it as well, because everyone else in boxing, if they, they respect Floyd, everyone respects Floyd, but you were the only, they've always said this, you were the only person that ever called him on that stuff, saying, mate, what are you doing?
Yeah, but it was like, it was just, I've always been a bit of a practical joker, I can't help it. It was like, Floyd got up and did we're at the press conference, and Floyd got up and did his speech, I'm this, I'm that, I'm great, and it went on for about 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. And I just got up, I said, well, thank you, Floyd, for that introduction, and thanks for making the winter shorter. And the press just ate it up and loved it. And we just sort of like made each other, and it's... he still says to this day, even though I moved up in weight to fight him, he said it was his toughest fight.
That's right.
Ricky, is this where you moved up in weight as well? Because I love this image of you coming into the ring as well. You've embraced the notion of eating the full breakfast.
Yeah, no, that was last week, actually. This was for the Malignaggi fight, but I actually did it first at the City of Manchester fight for the Lascano fight, because I got beat by Mayweather. And I was thinking, should I retire, should I carry on? And I decided to carry on. But when I started back in training camp, I was such a size. I think I put 45 pound on, you know what I mean? So it was in the paper. Ricky Hatton will never be the same fighter again. And it infuriated me. So I thought, I'll because I never had an argument with the sports press, but I used to do something to get my own back at them. So I come out with a big fat suit on, and when I won, I looked down at them and went, you know. So yeah, it was never dull.
Ricky, from an Australian perspective, there's an absolutely massive fight at the end of this month in New York. Daniel Gill up against the unbeaten Gennady Golovkin. He's a knockout specialist. How do you see that unfolding?
Well, I'd love Daniel to do it, but Golovkin is a bit of an animal, you know. But I would love him to box. As I know, I'm promoting in Australia. I promote 3 lads: Lucas Brown, Damien Huber, Cameron Hammond. So being involved in Australian boxing, it makes sense, you know. I want Gill to go out and win it because it's good for you know for Australian boxing. But he is a bit of an animal. One good thing that you know that Gill will take into the fight is, you know, because he's been that strong, he's never gone past so many rounds. He's only, you know, he's never gone a 12-round distance, which, you know, Gill is a master at going the distance. So if he can get a little bit like to my fight against Kostya, I thought if I can get past the first 4 to 5 rounds, you know, then I'm gonna, you know, I can kick on. Then
can you
know
stop
what?
bringing that up? We're still upset about that. It's a great win, but it was very hard for us to take.
Well, it's actually a walk in the park for me, to be honest.
You've come over at a great time at State of Origin, Rugby League tomorrow night. I know we were speaking out the back. You didn't know much about it, but you've had a look at some of the games. What are your thoughts?
I've been on YouTube and, to be honest with you, it had like the first...
And watching Origin?
Oh, yeah. It was like, you know, I couldn't believe that must be the most, you know, biggest rivalry in sport I've ever seen. You know, they were there, they were scrapping. I thought, that's not rugby, that's my local. But no, it was brutal. And like the tackles, they go in and they bang each other. And, you know, like, I'm a massive football fan, as you know, and they get like a kick on the ankle and they were rolling all over the floor. These were getting lifted off the floor, body slammed, and then they just get up and kick the ball behind them and carry on. It's impressive, and I'll be watching it tomorrow. It's not just an excuse to go to the pub.
Excellent, yeah. But you brought up football. You're a Man City supporter, and were you there the famous day a couple of years ago where they won the league last kick of the season? Were you there for that game?
I was, yeah. Aguero. I don't think it'll ever be won like that. You know, the last kick of the game, 1 on goal difference, and our nearest rivals were United. And can we talk about how poorly they're doing, by the way?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. As much as you like.
But it was brilliant, and we'd given up, and then Dzeko scored, and then Aguero scored, and I fell on my knees. I fell on my knees like that, and tears started coming down me. And just then, I can see at the other side of the stadium, Liam Gallagher from Oasis, starts running round towards me, and he jumped in me. Picked me up. I picked him up like that. I went, yes. He went, go on, Ricky. Are we going out tonight? I went, yeah. And we went out, and well, that was a bit of a journey to. Creeping in the house at 8:30 in the morning. Like
Ricky, can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with Fleet Street? Because I can imagine, as a British, you know, sports hero, the Highs are fighting in front of 60-odd thousand in Manchester, but there must have been some tough times with that relationship with Fleet Street.
Fleet Street?
Journalism.
Oh, journalism. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, well, you know, it's just like that in Britain. You know, I like to think I've done, you know, the country proud. I flied the flag. You know, I got one of the proudest moments of my career was I got an MBE. You know, for not just what I did in the ring, but what I did for numerous charities and stuff like that. But then when it's over, they try and finish it. I mean, recently, you know, me and my girlfriend have been going through a bit of a separation, and you know, 9 years, 2 kids, and they just hounded me lately. You know, here he is in a pub having a drink, and here he is, you know, on holiday, and here you know, not doing anything wrong, but they're just trying to, you know, and that's pretty funny. The sports journalists, I've got a fantastic reputation with them, but I don't know, they just, you know, it's like they take pride in your misery, you know.
Can you hang around, because you're so good to talk to, but we have to go to break and we'll come back. Ricky Hatton, brilliant talking. Stay with us, our champ of the week is up next.